WrestleMania 42 is this weekend, so I think it's time to do some predictions. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to my WrestleMania 42 Night 1 / WrestleMania Saturday, WrestleMania 42 Saturday predictions. Yeah, I'm going to be doing my predictions for Night 1, the first 7 matches of WrestleMania. I will follow that up with Night 2 / Sunday, and those 6 matches probably tomorrow. But yeah, we got 4 matches in the ring here. We also have 3 women's matches on Saturday night's card. Everything has been announced. This is the full card, so don't expect anything to be added to it, even though we still have an episode of SmackDown, Go Home SmackDown, to go before WrestleMania. I don't know about you, but personally, it doesn't feel like we're in WrestleMania week. I don't know. It's a bit flat this year for me, but I hope not everyone's finding it that way. If you are looking forward to WrestleMania, leave a like on the video, and you may as well comment your predictions down below as well. So we're going to get started off with the women's matches because I don't have any of those figures to show you. So we'll get to those quickly. So it's actually 3 title matches, isn't it? 3 women's title matches. So starting off, we have the women's tag titles being defended by Nia Jax and Lash Legend against the former champions Charlotte and Alexa Bliss. Bailey and Lyra Valkyria and the Bella Twins. I'm not completely sure how I see this one going. I don't see Charlotte and Alexa winning the titles because I see that as kind of a backward step in their sort of story. I guess you're kind of building towards them at some point breaking up, which another title win is kind of going to be moving away from that, isn't it? The Bellas, I don't think they should be anywhere near the tag titles, to be honest. They're just, why would they be, to be honest? I get it would probably be a feel-good moment, and Saudi fucking popped for Brie Bella for some reason. But yeah, I don't think they should win it. I hope they don't. Bailey and Lyra Valkyria, I feel like as well they're building to more of a feud and probably a heel turn, either on the part of Bailey or Lyra. I'd probably like to see Lyra turn heel. You know, we've seen Bailey be a heel for like 3 or 4 years, fairly recently, so not huge on that idea right now. Which leaves us with Nia Jax and Lash Legend, which I know is kind of the boring choice because they're going into it champions, but they are the only one with an actual tag team name, which I cannot remember at the minute. And yeah, they're the only, proper tag team in the division right now. Bella Twins aside, which they're not really a tag team, are they? I mean, who gives a shit about the Bella Twins in 2026? But yeah, I'm going to start off with giving it to Nia and Lash Legend to retain their titles. Up next, AJ Lee defends her Intercontinental title against bitter rival Becky Lynch. Now, normally, well, not normally because this doesn't happen very much, but if Becky was the champion going into this, I would not bat an eyelid. I would say AJ Lee wins the IC title. I don't get why they did it so far before WrestleMania. They could have had this as a WrestleMania moment. I don't know why they didn't do that. I guess they had her and Punk win on the same night. But I don't get it. I don't know why they did that, to be honest. Yeah. I really don't know where I'm going for this. I'm just gonna stick a leg out and say Becky's gonna win because I don't know what AJ's, her work. I can't think of it. What her dates are going to be like going forward. I don't know how much she's going to be working. She's obviously fairly part time. Fairly part time. She is part time. She doesn't really show up very often. So I'm gonna go for Becky Lynch title change. Why not? Next up, we have the Women's World Champion Stephanie Vaquer defending against Liv Morgan, who, won the Rumble. She won the Rumble, right? Liv Morgan won the Rumble. So obviously defeating Raquel in the end of the she threw Raquel and Roxanne out, didn't she? But both was it both of them? I can't remember now. But the finish was cool. Uh she got rid of Tiffany and wow, I'm having a mind blank. What's her name? Sol Ruka at the end to punch her ticket to WrestleMania, where she faces off against Stephanie Vaquer. This is a really interesting feud. There is a lot of hatred in this one, which I know women tend to kind of not bleed in WWE. That is, at least one of them should run the blade. It's a proper heated rivalry. We saw Stephanie the other week obviously pushing Liv Morgan into Roxanne Perez. You could hear their skulls cracking together, and Liv had a bulge on her head that was, I don't know how to describe it. It was pretty massive, to be fair. I think she wins the title here. I just think she has more feuds coming out of it. You know, she obviously at some point leaves Judgment Day, you're assuming, and then you have the whole stuff with Dom and Finn, and Judgment Day's falling apart, and then there's been sort of Roxanne and Raquel, there's tension there. So yeah, I'm going to go with Liv to win that. So 2 title changes out of the 3 women's title matches on night 1 of WrestleMania is what I'm going for, which brings us on to the men's matches, starting off with, of course, I Show Speed. Logan Paul and Austin Theory against L.A. Knight, yeah, and the Usos. What can you say about this? What is the vision? The vision went from being the new Evolution faction, you know. For those of you who don't know who Evolution was, it was Ric Flair, Triple H, Randy Orton, and Batista from back in like 2004, which catapulted both Randy Orton and Batista onto world titles. Now, everyone that was in the vision, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed, both injured, right? Are they both injured? Logan Paul was brought into it. Austin Theory was brought into it. They're doing nothing. They're tag champs, but, you know, why? Paul Heyman's fat, and Speed has somehow been brought into it when he's trying not to, which is actually quite funny. But get LA Knight away from. I really can't stand LA Knight's booking. I do not understand it. Why is he still in the vision? Whatever it is, the vision vortex. The Usos are here now as well, and I just don't care. I could not give less of a shit about this match. I'm sorry. Who cares? Jay's been teasing a heel turn for like 6-7 months. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean that. But he's been teasing a heel turn for a while now, and nothing's happened. I just don't care. The Vision win. That's my prediction. Logan Paul and Austin Theory, and of course I Show Speed, are going to beat LA Knight and the Usos, which is going to annoy me, because LA Knight's going to take another loss. But well, what are you going to do? On to probably one of the most interesting matches of the night. Probably what's going to be one of the most fun to watch is Drew McIntyre against Jacob Fatu. 2 heated rivals face off in an unsanctioned match, which really doesn't mean anything, does it? Because if it's unsanctioned, why is it on the WrestleMania card? If you really want to do an unsanctioned match, it should kind of be an impromptu, but I guess that's not really what you do at WrestleMania. But anyway, I don't know who I think should win here, and I don't know who I think will win here, to be honest. Drew and Jacob, I think they both need wins. Obviously, Jacob, since returning from injury, he's had quite a lot of involvement in the world title scene, but he's never really actually had a shot at it. He's played a role in who's won and held the title, but he's not actually, done anything for himself. So this would be a big win for Jacob. Alternatively, Drew McIntyre has just lost, a month, what was it, about 6 weeks ago? I don't know how long ago it was, but Drew McIntyre has lost the WWE title to Cody Rhodes, the man who he won it off with the help of Jacob Fatu. So he kind of needs a big win to get back on it, you know. But I don't know. I really don't know who I think will win here. Drew needs it more than Jacob. I feel like Drew needs it more than Jacob, but I'm not really sure. You know what? Come back to me on this. I'm gonna talk about Rollins versus Gunther. I think this is the match I'm most looking forward to. Because it's probably going to be the best, isn't it? Rollins and Gunther are two fantastic wrestlers. I'm interested to see how their styles are going to merge, how this match is going to go. But just from the few weeks of build that we've had, obviously Rollins returns and he's been doing all that masked shit, which is just pretty awful. Can we get away from hoodies and people in masks? That's not the only return you can have, right? But it seems to be that way in the Triple H era, in the reality era, in the Renaissance era, in every fucking era that we've had in the last year and a half. The like 48 eras that there've been since Triple H has taken over the company. You know, I can't even remember what I was saying. Sorry, but yeah, I think this will be a really good match. We don't need masked returns all the time, but this one, this feud shows you how easily you can build a good feud by just having two good wrestlers, because they sold it. They've sold this feud really well. You can have the story of one guy just wanting to be better than another guy. Rollins is seen as one of the best in the company. Gunther seen as one of the best in the company. Why wouldn't he go for Seth Rollins? Why is he not on the WrestleMania card? He can get on the WrestleMania card. In theory, you know, these guys are working. This is their job. If they're not on the show, they don't get paid. What can I do to get myself a match at WrestleMania? I know I can go for one of the biggest stars in the company who I know is not on the card. Makes perfect sense to me. Obviously, the plans for these two guys were different a few months ago. Rollins, you know, barring him getting injured, his world title reign ends very differently. And, you know, his WrestleMania looks very different. Obviously, Bron Breakker also got injured, so they've had to pivot there. Could we be seeing Bron Breakker dethroning Seth Rollins at WrestleMania if everything that happened over the last couple of months hasn't happened? Where does CM Punk fit into that? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know where they were going with it, and if Punk would have dethroned Rollins or, you know, been the next World Heavyweight Champion if it wasn't for Rollins' injury. But who knows? I guess we never will know until the dirt sheets probably leak it in a couple of months. But yeah, obviously very different for these two guys. Gunther was supposed to face Rey Mysterio, and then Rey Mysterio's injured. Gunther has to pivot, or they have to pivot. Gunther chooses Rollins. Rey Mysterio returns from injury straight away because he didn't want to retire to the career killer. But Gunther, I'm just going to end. I've been talking about this for a while, and I'll probably talk about this in more detail and everything in a bit more detail, because I'm going to be doing my reactions and my WrestleMania review probably the day after. So you'll get that this Sunday if you're interested. Gunther wins here. Gunther should win. He is a monster. He has been ending people's careers. He should win, right? You cannot have him end Goldberg's career, end John Cena's career, end AJ Styles' career, and then just go on and not be on the Mania card. Him beating Rey Mysterio would have been good as well, right? And that's the only way that match should have and would have went, I imagine. He would have beat Rey Mysterio at WrestleMania. But he needs to beat Rollins as well, to be honest. He should. Rollins is just back from injury. He should beat him. And that's all I'm going to say on it, because I don't need to say anything more, really. But I'm really looking forward to that match. This is an incredible figure, by the way. I unboxed this just for this video, but I will be properly unboxing and reviewing it later in the week or something. Well, probably next week. No, it'll be in a few weeks' time, because I've got loads of Dead Man deliveries to get out. But we're going to bring back Jacob and Drew as we talk about Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, Elimination Chamber winner versus WWE Champion in the main event of WrestleMania. Because for me, this should have been the main event, not just those two guys. It should have been a fatal four-way. Drew McIntyre can hold the belt up until WrestleMania for me. I don't think he had to drop it. I really don't think he had to drop it. Randy can still win the Elimination Chamber. I am fine with that. Cody Rhodes has been cheated out of the WWE title effectively by Jacob Fatu, so he is owed his shot. He can't get his shot before WrestleMania, so he's added, and it becomes a triple threat. Jacob Fatu, I don't know. He's added because Drew stole this much time of his career, and he's beaten Drew in the. He's beaten Drew as well. Let's say. I don't know. I really don't know. You can just add him to the match. He's a bit a rival of Drew McIntyre. Let's say Drew instead of attacking Cody in the Elimination Chamber, because Cody already has that reason to get in. Maybe he can attack both of them for that matter. Drew attacks Jacob Fatu in the Elimination Chamber because he doesn't want to face him at WrestleMania. That gives Jacob the reason to be in this fatal four-way. And that's what it needed. I think it should have been. If they didn't majorly fuck up this storyline, right? Because I do not have a problem with Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. Actually, it could have just been a triple threat. Let's be serious. Take Randy out of the equation, right? He doesn't win the Elimination Chamber. Say Jacob wins the Elimination Chamber. Drew's champion because Jacob cost him the match. And Drew took out Cody in the Elimination Chamber to give Jacob the win. So, or vice versa. It could work either way. The other guy feels hard done by. He's been cheated out of the title or out of an opportunity to go on to WrestleMania, and they're added to a triple threat. You don't need to do the Cody Randy match right now. If you really want to, you can then put the belt on Cody Rhodes. He holds it through to SummerSlam, where Randy Orton then faces him. But it could have also been a fatal four-way. But it isn't. And that would have... It's not fine, actually. It's not fine because of how they've done it. But it would have been fine if they didn't fuck this storyline up. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton... Right, this is gonna be a rant, right? Because I've not actually spoke about this on the channel because I've been fairly inactive and not done any Let's Talk Wrestling episodes in months. But I might bring it back because otherwise I'm just going to rant in all my pay-per-view predictions once a month, right? What the fuck have they done? Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton is one of the most easily written storylines maybe ever, right? It's one of the most documented rivalries that hasn't actually had a rivalry around it, you know? Obviously, they were in Legacy together. Randy was basically like not coaching him, but, you know, bringing him up, you know, giving him the rub, you know. Horrible term, but anyway. These two guys' careers has been intrinsically linked from the beginning in Legacy. The only, you know, they've had a WrestleMania match before. Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. faced off against Randy Orton at WrestleMania 26, 16 years ago. Now, all of a sudden, I understand that back then Ted DiBiase Jr. was in the middle of them two, but that's because they all shared the fact of being a second-generation superstar. So that's why it makes sense, right? But now, because of all that history and everything that goes on, and they've feuded before and they've been friends before and everything like that, going back to Kevin Owens was in between them and everything like that, it's a layup. You don't need anyone in the middle of it. Ted was in the middle. You don't need that anymore. These two are both multiple-time WWE champions. Randy, a 14-time WWE champion, world champion. Cody is now 3-time, right? You can just have that match. And you do not need Randy Orton to turn heel, or at least that early. It didn't need to happen. He could have turned heel on the night. He could have low-blowed him. Could have hit him with a punk kick. He could have turned heel at WrestleMania. it worked. It maybe even works even better in a Fatal 4-Way. He could have turned heel in a Fatal 4-Way. But anyway, it's just fucking terrible. Not only is someone in the middle of it, which I don't have a problem with, because Randy's calling someone, it could have been someone interesting. It could have been Ted DiBiase Jr. if he wasn't tied up with lawsuits. And, WWE are tied up with enough lawsuits at it as it is. But it could have been anyone else. It could have been, I don't know, Ric Flair because of the Evolution link, albeit that probably would have been shit. Dustin Rhodes probably couldn't have been him. Kevin Owens? Kevin Owens? It should have been Kevin Owens, right, that he rang. Pat fucking McAfee. Are you taking the piss? Pat McAfee. This guy was an NFL punter, got paid a shit ton of money to literally kick an egg about 5 times a game. 5 times over the course of like 3 hours. And he held the WWE title up last week on SmackDown. And he's not in the match. I understand that he's now, because of the initial terrible reaction, he's working us and we're all marks and they're doubling down on it. But this is fucking shit. And Jelly Roll is now involved on Cody's side. And I will never say, I probably have in the past, and I probably will in the future, but I will never talk shit about a celebrity being involved in the WWE. I don't have a problem with IShowSpeed being involved because he really gets it, and you can tell he's into it, and he's locked in, and he's adding all this sort of elements and detail to it that makes it good. And Jelly Roll, I get it. He's a WWE fan. He has been for his whole life or whatever. He wants to get involved. If I was a celebrity, if I was a well-known name, I would be on the phone to WWE saying, "Can you get me? I don't know. Get me anything. Get me involved at all. I'll just be in the crowd. I'll I'll post some promo stuff on Instagram. I don't mind." But he should not be anywhere near this storyline either. And the reports that at Backlash, they're looking for a tag match between Randy and Pat McAfee and Cody and Jelly Roll is just fucking terrible. It's god awful. It's the same shit as last year in a different font. It's Cody and a heel that a heel John Cena, and then they build towards a tag match later on at the Money in the Bank. They build towards the tag match. Was it Cena and Logan Paul? Who was on Cody's side? I can't even remember. But it's just absolutely terrible. I think Randy wins because I don't see. I mean, it would be nice if he didn't, because McAfee said if Randy doesn't win, you'll never see me again. But I doubt that happens. I think Randy has to win now after all of this. But they've all got to be pissed. This is a terrible storyline. Awful. They did not need to do any of this to build this feud. They didn't need to involve anyone. But if they did, it should have been someone like Kevin Owens, who actually makes sense and is a good wrestler, is a good promo. I get he might not be physically fit and, allowed to be wrestling or anything like that, but he doesn't need to be. He does not need to be. I'm going to try and end the rant there. Randy Orton wins, I think. Drew wins. Drew McIntyre wins. No, Jacob wins. Jacob wins. Drew took out Jacob, so Jacob has to win. Right? That's what happens. Jacob wins in the unsanctioned match. He's a Samoan. I don't know why I said that. Doesn't really matter at all. But anyway, Jacob wins. That's my final prediction. So, to go through them, Nia Jax and Lash Legend retain the women's tag titles. Becky Lynch regains the women's Intercontinental title. Liv Morgan regains the women's world title. Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and IShowSpeed beat the Usos and LA Knight. Gunther is going to beat Seth Rollins. Jacob Fatu is going to beat Drew McIntyre in the unsanctioned match. And Randy Orton and Pat McAfee are going to take home the WWE title to end WrestleMania Night 1, which would just be shit, wouldn't it? He should not be anywhere near it. He looks... Fuck you, Adam Cole. Look what you've done. Look what you've done to this business, Adam Cole. Not all his fault, but Jesus. Well, yeah. If you've enjoyed this rant enough, then come back tomorrow or the next day, and night 2 will probably be up. Or better yet, just subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on, and you'll be updated when that upload comes. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. If you have, leave a like, comment your predictions, or anything you know, just your thoughts. If there's any videos you'd like to see on the channel, etc. Hype the video while you're there, and yeah, you're all good. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow for night 2 predictions. Hopefully, see you later, everybody. Goodbye.